House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 5. It did it for me. It did it for me. Yes, it did. It did it for me. Listen, we finally got to see dragon on dragon action. We got to see that thing right there. We got to see it, man. Sir Christian Cole thought he was smarter than what he was. Aemon Targaryen had the plan. He had the trap set up. They set a trap for Rhaenyra, who is just a... I'm not going to call her a dummy fool. I'm not going to call her a dummy fool. But she a dummy fool just like Robb Stark. Just like Robb Stark. Why she went to King's Landing to sue for peace? Why did she do that? Why? And while she was gone, her people were getting slaughtered. Like castles keeps getting conquered left and right by Christian Cole with no defense. He getting glory for stuff that he didn't even really have to fight for. He really didn't have to fight for. Meanwhile, Daemon Targaryen, aka Day, I'm gonna call him Day because he do a lot of hood stuff. Day do a lot of ghetto stuff. He does. You know, taking Harrenhal because it's the biggest castle in the Winterland. I mean, Riverlands. Foolish, my boy. Foolish. It's a raggedy, burnt out castle. It just so happened to be the biggest castle in West, but you can't defend it. You don't grow nothing there. There's no food. There's no reason for people to rally to that spot, Day. Meanwhile, he out there having fever dreams because it's a wood switch there. A woman who might be a couple hundred years old. Because I want to say this is 150 years before the story of Game of Thrones, and she's still alive in the books. But he's having these prophetic dreams. And if you know anything about the Targaryens, that's one of their gifts. It always passes to one of the Targaryens where they have these dreams and they just see visions of the future. But also, Daemon is being tortured by his past, the sins of his past, all of his misdeeds. And I love Daemon for that because he's a great character. He's not good. He's not bad. He's just Daemon. You know what I'm talking about? He's just Daemon. You know what I'm talking about? You can always depend on him to be Daemon though. Even though sometimes you might not know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, we find out in King's Landing, Aegon is pissed because he's king and nobody's letting him make decisions. They're doing their own things. Sir Christian Cole is conquering people and he doesn't know why he's going here, there, and everywhere. And Aemon knows everything because Aemon has it mapped out and planned out. And Aegon is pissed because he's king, by golly. He's a horrible king. Rhaenyra Targaryen is a horrible queen too, and Daemon might be a bad prince. But Daemon and Aemon Targaryen have a lot in common. They're both very, very strategic. They're both good fighters, and they're both high-headed. But they're both very logical and analytical. Even though I think Daemon going to take Harrenhal was stupid because it's pointless. It's just a burnt-out castle with giant holes and stuff blasted. You can't even defend it, even though you got a dragon. Like, stupid. But meanwhile, you know what I'm talking about? Aegon Targaryen is mad because he don't know where the chess pieces are going, while his brother does. And his hand that he put his... That don't make no sense. Listen, man, this right here, it just shows you that when people in power, you know, people believe in people in power and they believe they're kind of like, can't do no wrong. And clearly these people are stupid, dumb. Can we say retarded? We're going to say they're a little off. Them babies are... Bless your heart. We're going to pray for them babies. We're going to pray for them babies. Listen, meanwhile, while this is all going on, the blacks are trying to get, they don't understand why they're not on the march. They don't understand why they're not on the march. And we find out Brother Valerian got a good old bastard. What is Game of Thrones or House of Dragon without a good bastard or two? We find out Sir Ilyn of Hull. We find out why he is so special and why he is carrying the secret and he really doesn't want to go to march to war. And we find out why Brother Valerian, I keep calling that because he's a black man, but we find out why he doesn't want to use him. And it's because he is son. And he finds out because his wife meets the guy that saved him, that pulled him out of the water. And when she meets him, she tells him, she say, your mother must have been very beautiful. And she rub on his face, and Brother Valerian immediately come and say, don't you got something to do? Don't you got some stuff to finish? He don't want them talking. And she looks, she say, man, hey, listen, I know that's your bastard. That nigga look just like you. She didn't say that, but she wanted to say that. She wanted to say that nigga look just like you. He black as hell. He just bald headed. He ain't got the silver dreads. Brother Valerian. Sir Ilyn of Hull is a Brother Valerian. You know what I'm talking about? He's a Brother Valerian. She not mad though. She not mad. I mean, she might be mad. You know how women are, but what can you do? He has a son. She lost her son, or at least she thinks she lost her son, but he was He was LGBTQ anyway. He wasn't gonna give him no errors. He can give us some errors. Then he can give them some errors. He can give them that. But yeah, so we find that out. And we also find out that Sir Christian Cole is marching towards Dragonstone, but he's gonna stop at Rook's Roost and take Rook's Roost, which is a small castle that's hard to defend. It's really worthless. The only thing is that it's right next to Dragonstone. And his whole plan is to lure out Rhaenyra or lure out a dragon so they can trap it and kill it. And the plan is going great, so Aegon Targaryen saddles up his dragon and he heads to the field to make his great appearance and gain him some glory. Foolish little man, because his auntie Rhaenys, she shows up with the second biggest dragon in Westeros and she gives him the business, works him. I'm talking about chew him to bits. How they say, eat him up, eat him up, however it go. I don't know how the song go. Whatever the lady say, I'm ate up. He got ate up. His brother was lying in wait though, because his brother was the trap. But his brother, Aemon blasted that boy on purpose. Y'all know Aemon Targaryen blasted his brother on purpose, right? He hit that boy with a Dracarys. I love when they say Dracarys. He blasted that boy on purpose. You know what I'm talking about? Took his own brother out, acting like he was trying to get his aunt. But we know he did it because in last episode, when he was laying down in that brothel with his favorite prostitute, his brother came in there, laughed at him, and gave the prostitute to his squire. His brother got up and walked out, bricked up. You know what I'm talking about? Just buck stark naked. Had to walk out buck naked. And was like, I'm okay with it. He was lying. Ain't nobody that comfortable. You bricked up and got to walk out there, booty cheeks all in the camera. He got his lick back on his brother because Aegon Targaryen, he not gonna be Aegon no more. I mean, he Aegon, but he not quite Aegon. Rhaenyra, she stood her ground, man. Shout out to Rhaenys. I called her Rhaenyra. I called all that because all the R's and all that. I'm sick of y'all in these names. Even though I'm black and we got some names, but I'm sick of y'all in these names. But yeah, man, she stood her ground, man. She came in there and she handled her nephews and she lost her life in the battle. But she wasn't no punk. She wasn't, man. She went out like a true G. She went. I ain't even got no alcohol. I'm gonna pour a little bit out for Rhaenys Targaryen. I'm gonna pour a little bit out, and I hope the blacks get bloody vision. I hope they get bloody vengeance next episode. I hope they do. I really hope they do, cause like God, dog, y'all done took a couple of major L's. I understand the king is crippled. He's hanging on to his life. He gonna need a little milk of the poppy. He gonna need a little milk of the poppy for a long time. But like y'all down too. Lucaris and now Rhaenys. And now brother Valerian ain't got no wife no more. He still got Sir Ill in the hood though. House of the Dragon season 2 episode 5. Can't wait for episode 6, man. This season right here, it should take off from here. We need more dragon on dragon action, but more importantly, this episode we got to see a lot of arrows thrown, shot. We got to see a couple of people get their head cut off. I want to see a real fight. I want to see real battle, sword on sword, spear on spear. I want to see more of that action. So hopefully we can get to some of that. I love seeing the dragons. I love the spectacle. I even love the viewpoint they shot it from when it began, when you saw the men on the ground who were fighting, looking up as the dragons came through. Because I can only imagine what that would have been like in real life. You know what I'm saying? That had to be terrifying. But yeah, I can't wait for the next episode, man. Junior House of the Dragon season 2 episode.